Hello, this is Mr. Miller here. Welcome to video 7. In this video, we're going to go over the answers to the review packet. Mr. Lewis is not here. He's at home in his pajamas and his fuzzy slippers, watching tapes of the 1980 Olympic track and field events. He'll be back next time. The first slide here shows the answers to the multiple choice and to the vocabulary crossword puzzle. So you might want to check this, grab your review packet, and see which questions you need some help on. And you can check the vocabulary words here. This was from someone in our class. Looks like they did a great job. Now, I want to go through the problems one by one. And if you missed one, you might find the problem. There's one problem per slide. Find the problem you need help on. On problem number 1, it says a survey of autos parked in the student and staff lots at a large university classified the brands by country of origin as seen in the table. So we have American, European, and Asian cars, and the type of drivers, student and staff drivers. I think we've seen a problem like this before. It says, what percent of the staff owned American cars? So this percent is only out of the staff. There are a total of 180 staff members. So they didn't provide the totals in the table, so we'll write in the total. And the number of staff members who own American cars was 98. So if you do 98 divided by 180 and convert it to a percent, this should work out to 54.4%. So my advice is be really careful about what group they're talking about. This was of the staff, so only that part of the table. And so the correct answer was E. All right, next one. Number 2, it says students in a political science course were asked to describe their politics as liberal, moderate, or conservative. And the table contains the results. They want to know what percent of females in the class consider themselves to be liberal. So females are the first row, and I like this table because it has the totals. So we're only focusing on the first row for this problem. And the total number of females was 85. And the number of liberal females was 43. If you do 43 divided by 85, convert it to a percent, you should have got A, 50.6%. All right, problem number 3. Oh, there's 3. A magazine article reported on the Springfield School District's magnet school problems. The article examined the impact of an applicant's ethnicity on the likelihood of admission. The data are summarized in the table below. Okay, there's all the data. Let's see what they want. It says, what percent of the students accepted were black or Hispanic? So the key here is of the students accepted. That's the group we're talking about. And we find that group in the first column. Their total is 911. So that goes in the denominator. The number of black or Hispanic students was 467. So it's kind of near half. 467 out of 911 ends up being 51.3%. All right, problem number 4. Gotta get used to this. This is very intimidating, but this is to help you practice reading. The multiple choice questions on the AP Stats exam involve a lot of reading. So here we go. It says a survey of autos parked in the student and staff lots. It seems this thing's very familiar. Are classified by brands and country of origin. So again, we have the American, European, and Asian cars, and the student drivers and staff drivers. They want to know if the origin of the car is independent of the type of the driver. So we've done a lot of this in class. If we look at the graphs, we see that they're quite different. The percent of American cars owned by students and staff is almost the same. But the staff owns quite a bit more European cars and fewer Asian cars. So first, I'm going to eliminate the ones that have the wrong yes/no answer. So we're saying that the ones that say yes are wrong. So these graphs here, or these variables, are not independent. So we can scratch those out. That leaves 3 left. We got to cross out the ones that are just outright lying. So A says no. The conditional distributions of origin by driver have similarities and differences. Okay. Although staff appear to have a higher percentage of Asian cars, that is an outright lie. So if you look at the graph, staff has fewer Asian cars. So cross it out. So you gotta read carefully. But the right one has all the facts right. B says no, the conditional distribution of origin by driver have similarities and differences. Yeah. Students own a higher percentage of Asian and European cars. Again, no, they don't. That's a lie. They don't own a higher percentage of European cars. So that leaves D. If we read through it carefully, D gets all the facts right. So you gotta eliminate the ones that are totally lying. All right, the next one, 5, is very similar. Excuse me here. On number 5, this is another case where they want to know are the variables independent. This time the graphs aren't identical, but they're pretty close. They're within a percent of or two of each other. So we know the answer is yes to the basic question. So we'll cross out all the ones that say no. And that leaves 2. All right, of the 2 remaining. One's a liar and one is not. So A says the conditional distributions of colleges by gender are similar. That's true. Since the distributions of colleges is essentially the same for males and females, there is evidence of an association. Oh, that's really tricky. There is no association. If they're independent, we say that there isn't an association. So A is the liar, C is correct. It says there is no evidence of an association, and that's true. It doesn't seem to matter for this college whether they're male or female. All right, we have two left. This one is the who, what, when, where, and why. And again, it's just about careful reading. It says this is a survey was given to 1,400 employees. So the who are the 1,400 employees. So we can get rid of the questions that say the who is the large corporation. Large corporation give the survey, but that's not who the data was collected about. It's collected about employees. We can get rid of B already because it says each department is a separate case. No, the people were separate cases. So each employee was a case. All right, that brings it down to 2. Okay, so let's see. On A, it says what? Number of hours worked per week, number of hours spent exercising per week, number of hours spent enjoying hobbies per week, and number of hours spent with family and friends per week. That's actually absolutely correct. That's exactly what it says in the prompt. And the when is not specified, the where large corporation, and the why they have right too. The answer is A. All right. E was lying. E says the what was overall job satisfaction. It didn't talk about that at all. Okay, so when you have a problem like this on the quiz, read carefully. And you might want to use elimination like this to make sure you're absolutely correct. All right, last problem. Problem number 7. Here we want to find a distribution, the marginal distribution. So it says a company held a blood pressure screening clinic for its employees. The results are summarized in the table below by age group and blood pressure level. Okay, find the marginal distribution of blood pressure level. So the variable we're talking about is blood pressure, and the categories are low, normal, and high. So we're talking about the rows here. We need the row totals and then convert them to a percent. So the first row, there were 96 people with low blood pressure. There were 230 with normal blood pressure, and there were 154 with high blood pressure. If we convert these to percents, the 96 is 20%, 230 ends up being 48%, and 154 ends up being 32%. So again, it was about blood pressure, so we got to think, what are the categories? Low, normal, high. We know that a marginal distribution is looking for the totals, so we had to find the totals. All right, so this is the frequency distribution, and this is the relative frequency distribution. And if you answered D, you were very wise. All right, that brings us to the end of the review packet. So good luck on the test tomorrow. Flip through your binder, review all the kind of the lessons, and take a look at any videos if you need to watch them again. We'll see you tomorrow. Good luck.